kind of to the concern part for you, it's like I'm less worried as an Orioles fan because of the depth of talent that we have. If we lose a big player, a big bat producer, there's another guy right behind him down in
Sure.
AAA Norfolk. Whereas like in the Yankees situation, if you lose another guy like Soto or Judge for any extended period of time, especially in the lineup, you guys are kind of screwed, right? I mean, there isn't a whole lot of depth in that.
But
You're just hoping and praying that nobody gets injured.
The flip side, though, your guys starting pitching is
correct.
Exactly.
League. So like we got our issues. We have different issues, but we got them. Like your offense 1 through 9. I'm terrified of most of them. I don't want those guys at the plate. Santander, I mean Gunnar, for Christ, I can't believe Clay Holmes struck him out. That was insane. That was probably the most unpredictable, considering the Verdugo and Volpe. Holmes striking out Gunnar, it was beyond stunning.
But fun fact is that Gunnar hasn't gotten a hit off of Holmes in his career.
Great. I mean, baseball's bizarre.
So crazy.
But you know who has? But you know who has? He's had a couple big hits this year against him. Cedric Mullins.
All right.
Hey, said he had the one in extra innings as well.
Yeah. Where's the Orioles doll?
What? Where's the? Yeah, I'm not. Again, but, and it's so someone Hubs told me, because I said he's one of my former teammates. You know, I've spent a lot of time with him over the years, and I believe in the player that he is. He's had some struggles, obviously, this season. But someone then, when he was starting to get back on track, right before it, someone said, "Hey, Rip, are you going to go sniff up Cedric's socks before the game to help him?" And I'm like, I mean, I would if it would give him, if he needs hits. But now everyone then will send me messages and be like, "Rip, like go sniff those socks." So, you know, we're superstitious. Baseball players are creatures of habit.
Yeah,
to say the least. All right.
Growing up, I would kick my mom out of the room. Me and my dad would just be like, "You just can't watch the game with us anymore." So, like, superstition has long lived in my family, no doubt.
Yeah, and in the dugout too, we do a little thing called same spots, same thoughts. If things were going well, and it's like if you moved, you're really hurting the team. Like if you got a hit, and you were at the end of the dugout, Kevin, you're all the way at the end of the dugout, and I mean way down there. If we told you to get into the sewer hole down there, and they were getting hits,
you do it.
Guess what would happen, Kevin? You're staying
there. You go down there.
You're staying in that damn hole until the inning's over, and then that's them. Yeah. So, all right, another part. Then I think, Kevin, we were talking about trades, and I think both the Orioles and Yankees need to make some adjustments.
Yes.
I think there's no doubt about it. And Kevin, do you want to lead that conversation off?
Yeah, Hubs, I know, and you talked about it. Everybody has needs. The Yankees do, the Orioles do. You talked about the infielding, but it seems like everybody's been linked to the Yankees this time of year. It always happens. I mean, we've heard the Crochet rumor and stuff about Jazz Chisholm. I mean, what to you would be like a successful deadline for the Yankees? Do you think they have to make multiple moves? Is it only one infielder that you would think, or do you think that they need like 2 or 3 moves on top of each other?
I don't know what more you got to see from DJ LeMahieu to like, just like what's turning here. He can't hit a line drive. He actually may have had 2 hits on Friday, but regardless, like he can't do anything that must, like, they had him leading off this weekend, for Christ's sake. Like, that's when you know we're really out of options here. So I don't know what more you have to see, what more runway. Boone likes to use the word a runway. To give him. Rengifo is the guy, right? Like Luis Unger from the Angels, that is the guy that's been linked to them. That is the guy that, guy who hits for average, can really just add a lot to the top of that. He's like almost your prototypical leadoff guy for them. There's gonna be a lot of competition. Everyone's gonna want that guy. Jazz Chisholm has been linked. If you really look at his numbers, does he change a whole lot? No. Like, he's not bringing a like that, but he's better than Glaber. He's an upgrade from Glaber. Glaber is a lost cause at this point, and anyone who's, I don't know how many more people are on the Glaber side, but I've said to trade him for years because they've made it so clear they're not signing him back. So you might as well get value. It was almost like, just from a GM perspective, why hang on to the guy if you're going to lose him for nothing? So now it's too late. And this is classic Cashman stuff where you hung on to a guy and you're going to get nothing for him, and he's completely dead weight for you. And I feel bad for Glaber because he should be the one guy that is really, it's a contract year for him. He's the complete opposite of Aaron Judge. Like, Aaron Judge contract year, bet on myself. Here we go. I'm winning the MVP. And that has not been the case for Glaber. He'll be lucky to get like a pillow deal at this point. Like, it's brutal. I feel gutted for him, but it's unacceptable what he's done in the field. Like, he's and at the plate, it sucks. So they need to replace an infielder, no doubt. If it's 2, I don't think they will. But if it's 2, I would sign up for that. And then they need relievers who can swing and miss. And Tanner Scott obviously is that kind of guy that screams to me, bring him in. Now, granted, he's going to be wanted by a lot of people. All these people are. So, Cashman's going to – and there's always that saying, you have to overpay at the deadline. You just have to. If you want your guy, got to overpay. So he's going to have to do that. It's going to be a must to go get a Tanner Scott type guy because I don't have – Clay Holmes' numbers look good, but if you watch him every outing, it's like what you just saw on Sunday. There's always men on base. He doesn't strike guys out. Well, if there's always men on base and you don't strike guys out, you're going to blow saves. I'm pretty sure he leads the league in blowing saves. He's a nice 2.7 ERA, but man, that's just not a guy. My coworker Tommy Smokes screams it. He's like, you just can't. This is not a closer for a World Series team, and he's not wrong. So if you bring in a Tanner Scott, maybe you don't bring him in necessarily to be the closer, but he can be evolved to be the closer. So that's the type of guy I want coming in. And then you want to go big hunting for Diaz over with the Reds, whether they want to trade people. I think Tanner Scott, the Marlins have made it clear, like they're done by trading Arias so early. So I would go get Scott. I would go get Rengifo. Is that enough? Probably not. But if you can convince yourself with those guys, Dominguez returning in late August, Stanton getting back online, that's enough maybe to get going here because no one has truly run away with the American League. It's not like it's a wide open league. Like it's not like the Astros are that team to beat anymore. Now they're there. They're not done. Like the Astros are heating up, and that's not a team I want to experience in October again. I have way too much PTSD from that stuff. But it's not a normal Astros year where they're the clear-cut team to beat. So with that being said, let's go add some people with some value, some actual players, some bargain hunting garbage that Cashman likes to do around this time, and go for it. But yeah, they need a lot. And the one thing I'm more scared of is what you guys do.
Well, that's the thought, right? And I think I'll ask you this then, because I don't mean to cut you off, but you were bringing up that's a lot of needs that New York would need.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I would argue in Baltimore, and everyone thinks that the Orioles need everything. They got ravaged with injuries. I think their offensive lineup is pretty set. I don't think they need to go out and get a bat. The one thing that they're going to have to go out and get is pitching.
Oh, yeah.
Starting pitching, relief pitching, get some depth back in there to solidify. But Garrett Crochet is the biggest name we know on the market right now. Like that's just who they're saying, hey, we're listening for his offers. Right. But then the rumor had it, Hubs, was Spencer Jones has to be involved in the deal. And I guess in this case, and the only reason I bring it up, I don't see last year, the White Sox rumored to want Jackson Holliday for Dylan Cease in that deal. I don't see the Orioles making a move that would give up Jackson Holliday for Garrett Crochet, especially it's not a move for 24, in my opinion. I think it's a 25 or 26 move. Do you think that the Yankees would be willing to overspend to get Garrett Crochet and one of those pieces being Spencer Jones?
I just look at it and I think the starting pitching is not the need. So that's not where I would overspend. And I wouldn't give up. Jones is a freak. Jones is like our best athlete, and that's crazy because he's such a giant guy, but they say he might be the fastest guy in the organization, and that's insane. But he is a monster, and he plays great defense in center. So that is a guy you can easily see that plugs in next year, 2025, as your center fielder, and you move around with him. So no, I don't think they entertain Crochet. It would actually stun me if they go get a starting pitcher. Like I think they're good with Cole. Now, Luis Gil, the terrifying thing about Luis Gil is that guy has already exceeded his career innings in a season. So they have not yet said that there's an innings limit, but when they announce their rotation to start the second half, he's the number 5 pitcher. So that's going to at least be their way of not overusing him, and hopefully he gets into the postseason in good shape. That seems like a little bit of a prayer. But then Nestor Cortez has been very good at home. He has not been good on the road. But if you're pitching at home, I feel good about that. And then you hope maybe a Carlos Rodon shows himself, $162 million man actually pitches his way. So in that sense, they have too much money invested in a Rodon, I think, to go and get another frontline guy like Crochet. I don't see that. I think you guys are going to be the team that's in on a Crochet, and my nightmare is Mason Miller, because it would take a king's ransom to get, and it should, because he's that much of a plus tier bullpen, and you guys could get rid of a few top line minor league guys that wouldn't hurt you in the long run, really, and you go get Mason Miller and you have him. That's the move that if that happens, I drop my phone and I just like turn ghost white. I don't need that.
Well, that's funny you mentioned that, Rock, because we were talking about that with the Orioles and the trade deadline.
Yeah, looking at the Orioles from the outside as a Yankees fan, why would a Mason Miller make you do that? Can you elaborate more on what you just said?
Because, and I said this to start the year, no Felix Bautista in that pen, and you're relying on Kimbrel to close games, is not fun. You just saw it on Sunday. So you go add a Mason Miller there, where you're now shoring up the end of games, and then you move Kimbrel to an 8th inning role, which is where he should be at this point in his career. Terrifying. Don't need that. Now, do you also need starting pitching? Absolutely. Because after Corbin Burns, even including Grayson Rodriguez, who have never really, at this stage in his career, I'm not too terrified of him. And the Yankees kind of showed that to me this weekend, which was nice. Didn't blow up in my face. But after Corbin Burns, I'm not too scared of anyone in your rotation in the playoffs. And I feel like matched up in the playoffs, you guys are at a disadvantage in every matchup after Corbin Burns with another team.
I think that's a very interesting point. I think we believe in Grayson Rodriguez's upside, but the part is he's showing moments where he can still get beaten being consistent on certain things. He's got tremendous stuff, but consistently, can you shut down some of the top lineups? He did shut down the Yankees earlier this year, but then they got to him. And if Aaron Judge is playing, there's a good chance he's going to hit a home run against the Baltimore Orioles. It's just the dude's hit 25. Sorry, he's hit
42.
Well, no, the home runs that Aaron Judge, I was going to say in the last 2 months is what somebody's career year is.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing that's happening right now. And then,
and he missed and he basically just didn't participate in April. He was there, but he kind of wasn't at the same time. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He had 6 home runs, I think, in the month of April.
Yeah.
I think it was it was.
And then he went for like a 0 for 20 spot.
He had 25 home runs between May and June and hit 400 for a whole month. I mean, that's a terrifying